Well, team, it looks like we got ourselves a power hour rally. Seems like there's been a slight trend that I've been catching that a lot of traders might not be catching. That's what it's all about here at the Close. Hit the thumbs up. Let's get it started. Let's get into the action.
All right, it is time for pre-market prep at the close.
Three consecutive highs, opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed.
Well, traders, let's get into the action. It looks like we got ourselves a little bit of a power hour rally here going. Let's take a look into the SPY as we're getting a lift in towards 398.26, starting to get through the high on Friday, 397.62. Even though we had that Friday sell-off, remember, that's a reason why on Friday sell-off, I was even thinking, man, would we just come in on Monday, gap up, and shoot away from here? Well, clearly, that's exactly what we're getting again. And one of the things that I'm starting to see clearly is that it seems to me like a lot of this action early in the day is trying to wash out retail traders and pick the market back up towards the end of the day. Who could be doing actions like that? Well, a lot of that is going to be more your institutional style trading, right? Well, there's one thing that I've clearly been seeing is wiping out the retail and driving the market back up. So that, what do you feel right now? Well, I know that you're probably like me, feeling a little FOMO as you're seeing the 398s hit today. And I feel like this has been consistently done. So look into the trends, start looking at seeing in the afternoon moves. So what I'm going to even start doing is I think we might need to even start trading the 3 p.m. hour. Maybe 2 to 3, or maybe even, 3 to 4, trying to get some trades in. Because it seems to me like lately, this has been an easy move to catch towards the end of the day. And it's the early open that's hard to figure out where the stocks are moving. All right, well, there you guys see it. SPY starting to get a little push. Friday, we got a takedown. Today, we get a pop back out, right? Well, look at last time. 3 p.m. was a little bit of a pullback. But if you look back at this time, this was kind of just a whole daily pullback. But overall, I have been seeing this kind of 3 p.m. right here on the 2nd. We did do a nice little run into that. And prior to that, we were starting to get some lifts into those 3 p.m. hours. Look at this 2 p.m. push there towards, of course, it went into the next day, into the close there. And so going to look to see if we continue to see this 2 to 3 p.m. pickup going into 4. But it seems like it's been a great day there. Let's take a look underneath the hood. Let's go to first our leadership. Then we'll take a look at what was the biggest leading stocks from the open. If you guys have stocks to throw up in the chat, get them rolling through there. I'll go ahead and make sure to run through them by myself today. No Joel. Joel will be back on us on Thursday. But you guys can see here, Apple getting some lift also, starting to push back. Microsoft was strong all day, of course, with their mention, their news that was out this morning. Of course, Microsoft buys near 4% stake in London Stock Exchange and launches a 10-year partnership, giving it the nice lift. And I like the 15-minute on Microsoft. You can see how it's going sideways off of the VWAP. I always look for those kind of sideways charts, especially in the hourly. That's a nice little move back towards 251. We'll see if it gets to 252. Really looking for a move back towards 260. Going to see if we're going to get back there in Microsoft. And will it start getting the lift and pushing above those highs of last week? Friday high, 256. Let's see if we get back towards those levels. All right, let's get into some other names out there. We'll take a look at some of the ones that you guys want to watch today. So definitely just keep throwing up stocks. Today is one of those days, team, that I'm here for you guys. If not, I would wrap up the day. So let's do it. All right, let's look into different areas. Google, not the strongest. Amazon, not the strongest, but showing signs of kind of some reversal there, action going on in Amazon. That's one that I'd keep on mind. And one of the things is you can clearly see it's kind of in a sideways trend right now. Will it start closing above the 90.50s into the 91, or will we cut down again through 87? Prices definitely to keep an eye on. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other stocks. Let's go towards our leaders. Of course, Tesla's also one that we've been kind of keeping a close eye on, right? This doesn't look good by any means. Cutting down here towards 167.43. If you guys remember last week when we just started cutting back from the 200, what was the levels that I called out? Well, 167.43. Where are we right now? 167.90. We might cut through that low, that 52-week low towards 166.18. Next thing you know, we're making a new low in Tesla. And when you make new lows, you got to go. Be careful, team. If we cut through 155, levels that I'll be looking for are 135 as Tesla starts cutting towards the 100. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at different stocks that are making moves. Tesla 168, not a good level to see. And Tesla, by all means, doesn't look bullish. It looks very much bearish to me on the trend. Can't even get above the 9 EMA. So that's another thing. If it can't even get into the short-term moving averages and make them look bullish, well, I don't see it turning around anytime soon. And with that being mentioned, if Tesla's not going to be doing good, I don't expect to see Ford, GM doing well. So I know that they're up today, but in the long run, I could see these cut right back down. Also, Lucid, Ride, those stocks like that, don't expect them to be hanging on for too much longer, especially if we're getting these cut downs. Now, Lucid, I don't expect to go away, but Ride is one that definitely could go away. We'll see what happens to these names. Fisker also up today, but not the strongest stocks. And that's something that I want to really, truly be a part of. Look at Nikola. Is it finally going to disappear? It very much could. All right, let's get into some of the biggest kind of moves in the S&P 500 today. Wanted to go ahead and point those out. One of the moves is going to be an EXPD. So you guys can catch that. Expediter trying to get a little push here. Looks like it's a shipping stock. Is trying to get a nice little lift. But let's keep going. Let's go to a different one here. Under Armour getting the lift. And this was one that I was trying to call out in the morning. Sorry that I messed up and didn't get towards this upgrade. We did talk about it on Stock Market Movers and live trading. Stifle upgrading Under Armour to buy, raising the price target to $12. They praised the Athletics Apparel's inventory management, and it is getting a nice little lift. We were looking at this one early in the day, and I was looking at UA, not UAA, but you can trade either or, right? I was looking for a move up to from 860s towards $9. We got that move and more. That was a 4.7% call out there. Nice move above. Overall, up about 9.57 overall for the day and up about 5.41 from the open. Not a bad move there in Under Armour. Levi's getting a little bit of a push there. Apparel manufacturing stock that is getting a nice little lift here. Starting to reverse, trying to push through the 17. Definitely levels to watch now. You got some good ones here. 1706. Will we get back into the 17 handles in Levi? All right, we'll continue pushing here. And definitely, I see you guys mentioning some stocks in the chat. I'm going to quickly run through what I have, and then I'll let you guys take control of the show. All right, so we can keep going. We can take a look at what other stocks in the SPY was doing well here, right? You got also Halliburton getting a nice little pushback on the day. These are from the open, not overall. I'm just looking for the from the open, what was doing well. Dish Network getting a little bit of a bounce. Nothing that I would be too excited about. C-Day trying to get a little lift. Not really stocks that I like, but Slumberger, of course, or Slumber J getting the pullback. Oil stocks bouncing back today. Para getting a little bit of a bounce back. Of course, is that Warren Buffett Paramount play. Can we get back through the Warren Buffett highs, the 2052? That's going to be your level to watch. Valero bouncing back today. Of course, we've talked about this one with diesel prices. That's when we were watching right here for the breakout. We got a nice little breakout. It came right back to the 200-day. Will we get another push there towards the 140? Something to keep in mind here. That's the Valero Energy, and that is more of a diesel play here. We'll see what happens in some other names, but not a bad move there. SPY, QCOM, of course. Qualcomm did have a downgrade this morning from Wells Fargo to underweight, announcing 105 price target, but shaking that off towards the open and getting a nice lift here up towards 120.97. That's what we call a nice reversal on the day, up about 4.6% from the open. Not a bad move there in Qualcomm. All All right, let's continue going. We can take a look at some of the other ratings that we were looking at today. Goldman Sachs hitting them hard. Restoration Hardware, they put out a price target of 215. Prior was 227. And man, did this get hit towards the open. You guys can see it here. I'm going to go to a little bit shorter time frame, the 5 minute, and it was a quick little 6% move down here. Restoration Hardware getting hit. And like we talked about, would Williams Sonoma get hit with this also? It did take the hit with the downturn, but made a rip right back up there. So this is one to keep in mind as it's starting to come back. We'll see what happens there in WSM. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other trades that are making some moves. Rivian was the last one that I really wanted to get in. And you guys can see this one definitely got hit hard today, continuing on the downside. Not a good outlook when you give like some growth drivers like building in Europe and then pull it back, right? Well, a lot of this I think has to do in the long run with the Inflation Reduction Act and trying to move more auto manufacturing here to the United States. But it's something to keep in mind as Rivian has pulled the plug on that Mercedes partnership and said, you know what? Let's focus on what we have right here. Let's nail down, maybe it's the Rivian, the truck, right? First, you nail that down and then be worrying about, international sales and what they can do to grow internationally. This is going to be very smart to kind of nail down first and then figure it out. In the long run, I kind of like Rivian. I like the way that the truck looks. I don't know if you guys have seen Rivian's truck up close, but to me, it resembles most likely what you would compare to like an F-150. And I do like the Rivian in the long run. Just going to be looking for deeper time frame pullbacks going into next year. Sometime in 23, I'm going to be looking to try to get some of these EVs, but I don't think it's going to be in the early part of the year. I'm going to let them get hit. Let the recession, if the recession is going to come, hit these stocks. Then I'll be looking to pick them up for a long-term type of play. All right, we'll see what else is going on. Let's take a look at some other areas, but I'll start taking stocks from you guys, of course. We have been looking at different areas. One area that I was going to be looking at today, and I talked about it in the pre-market, what was my favorite area to watch? It was going to be healthcare stocks, right? Well, healthcare stocks opened up the day 12-12. You guys can see it down here. And we had a nice little lift in some healthcare stocks. So if you're able to nail some healthcare stocks today, well, this is definitely a sector that I'm liking. And what do we get today? We get expansion on the golden cost. Not definitely a good sign that we want to be seeing. And also volume starting to increase into this move. I really like this area right now. It's looking great for us. We just need to keep watch some of the leaders, some of the bigger moves to the upside. You guys can do this by also just separating by what's strong here. And of course, you can separate by price, try to get a little bit higher price, right? Higher cap ones. But definitely not a bad move there. Drug manufacturers having a good day. Healthcare plans having a good day there. Even the major ones getting a little bit of a bounce back after pulling back. We'll see how these continue to run. But healthcare is definitely an area to keep watch. Look at the XLV today, getting a nice little bounce. It pulled back in the pre-market. Now right back up towards 139.30s. Not a bad outlook there in healthcare overall. All right, let's get to stocks from the chat. Now it's your turn to take control. Guys, throw up the tickers. I got you. Now we'll roll through what you got. And MD, how was my test? It went well, my friend. Studied very hard. Took a lot of practical exams. And it wasn't an easy exam. It's a 4-hour-long exam on technicals, right? Not really the easiest to go after, but we'll see what happens. Level 2, will I get it? I'll have to wait and find out till the results come out. But time to run through some stocks from you guys. I have been seeing you guys throw up ones, so let's go ahead and start rolling through it. Chris wants to take a look at EA. Tim talked about it this morning. Let's take a look there. Electronic Arts getting a little bit of a bounce today. And it was kind of a little bit of a mixed bag here in EA. One thing I'd say about EA is that, is this company going anywhere big anytime soon? And that's where I get a little bit concerned because when you think about it, this stock has really done nothing, even if you got this stock in like 2018. That's why I'm not the biggest fan of EA because there's not many stocks that you're going to see that you hold for 4.9 years 5 years, and it's gone nowhere. It's gone nowhere, literally gone nowhere on the chart. So long term, I don't know what to do with EA. It doesn't do me much. But of course, we do have some weekly levels and daily levels to go off. Weekly levels look for like a pullback towards 122 to hold. But how much upside does that really get you towards 148? That's about 20% to the upside. And that's towards, all-time highs. I'm not the biggest fan of EA just because it's not the sexiest name. And I feel like there's more opportunities out there. But let's go towards the 15-minute. 15-minute did kind of create this kind of bigger kind of U pattern. Look to see maybe like a little bit of a cup and handle. Little pullback here towards 125, maybe slightly below that towards the 124.80s. Then a breakout towards 126. We'll wait and see what happens on this. All right, let's keep going. Let's get into some other names. 18 overall, Amazon looking very bearish, but shaking that this morning and then shooting towards the upside. This is one that could start reversing here and getting it back towards, of course, 91, 93s. But it's all going to depend on, of course, CPI tomorrow. Don't miss it, team. We'll see what happens. 8:30, pre-market prep. Be there. All right, let's go towards the next one. Next stock that we'll take a look at least my docu is doing its thing again. Not a bad one to keep watch, docu. All right, let's take another one in the chat. What do you got for us today? No Joel today. Yes, no Joel. He's taking a little bit of a break. He'll be back with us. MDT Medtronics getting a little bit of a bounce. This is a medical device company. It has put in some lows here. So I think what we need to look for now is, can we get the break above the 80s and a push? So you've gotten up there multiple times, but you really need to start pushing through the 80s. Just really start pulling and pushing back towards the upside. Look at this stock since it's cut through the 200-day. It's been a red type of stock. You want to see this start turning back with a 50-day, starts heading back towards the 200-day. Right now, the 50-day is still moving down. That's not what you want to see. These moving averages are starting to turn the EMA first, right, with the price action. But look for the SMAs to turn into the bullish sense. Look for you really to start showing that true bottom and cutting through the 80. And right now, I feel like it's trying to get up there, but it's going to take a little while. Medical devices overall have been slowly trying to make its way back. And you can see it here. This is when we actually started diverging from, instead of going down, we're starting to curve there on the 50. That's what you want to see. Start seeing that curve go upwards. Then you'll start looking for some of these. I also would signify them by high cap, and Abbott Labs is one that's probably making the first move here as being leader in the sector. And one thing to note, high volume on this day, pulled back through that level, now has pushed above that level, 200-day moving average at 109.16. It's not a bad one to start watching to see if it starts holding that 200-day as what support, and you get the 50 to start getting that quick move towards the upside. MDT behind that. SYK behind that. Stryker Corp. This one looks like a little bit stronger than the other ones right now. Look how the 50 and the 200-day are pretty close there. Keep watch. All right, we got other stocks to take a look. Toast. Don't get toasted. We'll see. Software infrastructure stock. Of course, this is that kind of payment service. Every restaurant switching to Toast. Any play on this? Well, if you feel that way, and that's just the story, planted cyclists. And so if you feel that this is the truth, that every restaurant is going to go ahead and switch towards, or majority are switching towards that Toast, what you want to do is look inside a Toast. See when the fundamentals start making sense. What is their outlook going forward into the next quarter? If the fundamentals make sense to your story outlook, then just look for the technicals to match up that. 3 or 4 variables that you want to be drawing into your kind of trading generation, right? So one thing to keep in mind, though, that's story, fundamentals, technicals. That's all going to be towards that stock. Another thing to keep in mind is the overall market or the industry that you're trading in, and ask yourself, is that the environment? Is this a good environment for that type of stock? That's what you need to be asking yourself. We'll see what happens there in Toast. Toast is just trying to get back up there, has gotten up here 1, 2, 3. It tried that breakout towards 22 and then failed really quickly. Let's see if you can get back towards 22 and actually close above it. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other stocks. Appreciate the love out there, team. Let's go. There's only one way. Keep working on your skills, right? Just like you guys out there, want to see you guys keep pushing towards the next level. It's not about being just satisfied where we're at today and always trying to get 2% better. All right, let's keep going. We got Adobe being brought up in the chat. Let's go to that one. Adobe, you guys see it. I drew this way before. We filled in this one. Now can we start filling in this one? This is a bigger time gap to look for. So you're looking for a move to start holding the support. This one actually looks pretty clean here. I love stocks that look clean. What do I mean by clean? The support is really kind of holding up right now. From that little gap up, right? You can see how this is kind of holding in there. Now you can see how you got this upper kind of push. Now we need to get back here. Let's start pushing towards 350. 350 definitely in reach. One thing that I'd be looking for some pullback area is somewhere between, let's say, 334.25. But if it can hold 335 right now, you're looking good there in Adobe. This is not an area that, I would definitely be so bullish on, but can it fill up there towards 350? At least 350 seems like it can get in reach. Then we'll have to wait and see if we can get up there towards the actual closing of the gap. MMAT being brought up in the chat. Not one that I look at often, but Rich, I got you. Meta Materials. Let's take a look here. And this isn't, meta overall. I feel like that sometimes can get a little bit confusing. Hourly chart had this one wiping out down. It's a little bit of a cheaper name. So I'm not going to go too crazy with trying to give you too much on this. Now, one thing to note, though, is every time it pops, it drops. And so this is one of those pops and drops, the pumps and dumps types of stocks. And until it can actually do a move like this and hold the move, that's what you need to be looking for. Every time this does that 1, 2, 3 day move, it blows out and it comes right back down. You got to be careful with a name like this and getting stuck. All right, we'll keep going. We'll take a look at some other names. TLT. Joe, is it time for the bonds? Well, you guys are seeing the bonds pull back a little bit on the intraday action. 15-minute was right towards the open, towards the high, and boom, right back down to the support. So we'll see if this can continue pulling back. It's had to make a nice run as of late. And, of course, bonds are what we're expecting to bottom first, right? Whether it be equities or you feel that bonds will be that one that bottoms. Well, TLT is a good way to keep on watch on that. We'll see if we get back there towards the 100. And then we'll look to see if we even get anywhere near close to these lows, 93. Big push in the recent move. Let's see if we can retrace about 50% of that move. That's going to be a move back towards around 101. We'll see if that can actually make that retracement. All right, let's keep going. PBR, of course. You got oil stock coming back here. Doesn't look good at all. Looks like it fell off the tape. It did 1, 2, 3. It tried. It pulled back. It went into that breakout mode and it couldn't hold on. PBR, big pullback. I would leave it alone, but always up to you. All right, we'll keep going. We'll take a look at some other ones. I see some names coming in here, some oil names. Oil names definitely bouncing back today. XOM getting a little bit of a bounce back. Oxy, a little bit of a bounce back. Will this rally hold? That's the hard question to ask and get an answer, right? I mean, ConocoPhillips had just been breaking down last week, starting to come back. But really, are we going to expect to see these oil stocks continue and stay strong into next year? Well, they are going to have the lower PEs, going to have some strength overall. But I think in the long run, these could turn around. Of course, we've talked about the level that makes sense for us. It's closer towards the 101 and the 100 for the pullback on XOM. But it's been holding pretty well. We'll see if it gets back there towards 110 and wants to start pushing again. Tilray and CGC. All right, let's go take a look there at the cannabis stocks, how those did. Well, you can see we got some lift. 1, 2, 3, 4 push. Should be the breakout and continuation, right? Well, we shouldn't come and break back down towards the first resistance. We just broke through that $4 again. That gives me that outlook that there you go, falling off the tape. And I'll tell you right now, I am a a proponent of long-term cannabis. I like these opportunities for investments, right? But the big thing here, and I think a lot of cannabis investors need to kind of do their own research, is look inside the fundamentals. If the fundamentals don't make sense, yes, you might get your day trading momentum towards the upside with a name like Tilray. But to tell you the truth, look underneath the hood. See if that's the type of stock you want to be in long term. There are some of these cannabis stocks that I would say have been a little bit smarter with their debt than others. A lot of this, keep in mind that some of these have been out in the public market for years now. Well, I think in the long run, if we do get deschedulizing and we have a lot of these OTC cannabis stocks, the reason they're OTC is not because they want to be OTC, is that they're waiting for their opportunity to come to the public markets. Those are the opportunities that I like truly in the long run. But of course, to each his own. Keep your eyes on those cannabis stocks. We'll see what happens. All right, everything ripping right now. Well, I think the SPY helping that right now back towards 398. And is this the rally that we're getting from, of course, the CPI? Does someone have the print? Well, they didn't send me the memo. I'll tell you that much. But one more thing to kind of keep in mind is, when did this start? 3 p.m. What do they say about a lot of those 3 p.m. traders? A lot of that is institutional action. I think we know which way the institutionals might be betting. But like always, there's no one knows for sure. The only thing we can do is make expectations and see what happens tomorrow. All right, we'll see what happens there. I feel like somebody might have gotten that memo, but hey, to each his own. This is the rally before the dump on CPI. Could very much be, right? All right, let's get towards some different stocks. If you guys got a ticker to throw it up in the chat. There's still a lot more time to take a look. Visa is one that I'm going to call out on the daily. Really nice setup. Nice little pullback. I'll show you guys what I had. All right, so you guys see here, I've been looking at Visa longer term, and this is not something that I'm like, I'm just like, I want a credit card. No, it's not the type of stock that I would be thinking about. But take a look at this nice little push. MasterCard still moving, says easy. Definitely take a look at this little push from Visa. I love when stocks go up to a trend line, reject it. It rejected it here really quickly, right? And this was in October. It pulled back, right? Boom. Then it comes in and collects a little bit of volume. Then when it comes up the next time, now you get the breakthrough and you hold on what's called a throwback look. Throwback looks are when we break through a trend line towards the upside, right? And then we hold the little move back and then get that next push. Well, here you're clearly starting to create a support. And I think that now we can start watching for Visa to start pushing through this and getting out of this and going towards those Friday highs, which are 218.48. Could be up there towards 215 by tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. But Visa, really nice day there and a nice little push off the 15-minute chart. MasterCard, I'll take a look there. MasterCard, nice little push. How's the daily chart? Very similar chart. Look at this. Now we're starting to get that nice little push. I'm gonna actually erase all. Let's erase all here and restart over on MasterCard here. Look at that nice little push on the weekly. Now you're starting to get the push. And what does it do? It holds the pullback. That's what you want to be looking for. Now I'd be looking for these lows to hold in the last 3 weeks. 340.75, 341.47, 343.61. Let's go towards the inside of this. You can see it. It was right off the lows there, multiple times below that level. Now I'd be looking for 350s to hold for me and start making a nice little push. We'll see if this kind of pulls back. Nice little day there for MasterCard. XLU, I'll take a quick look there. Utility sector continuing and not looking too bad there. We'll see what happens on those names as they are getting a little bit of a bounce. Market is closed. Let's take a look at the closing action. It was a little bit of a rally into the power hour. 3 p.m. started. From 3 p.m. on, we made a nice 0.6 or 2.4 $2.41 move there on the SPY, up there towards 398.50s right now. We'll have to wait and see, of course, what happens with CPI tomorrow. Find out on pre-market prep. I will be there. The question is, will you? And will we be coming in hot or light? I want to hear what you guys vote tomorrow as I put in a poll in pre-market prep to see who's going to get it right. Is it going to be hot or light? I'm leaning a little bit on the hot side, but we'll have to wait and see. Smash the thumbs up. Rally, but no love for Tesla. Something to note, right? If all the stocks are moving and this relationship is staying like this, that just goes to show you the concerns that are out there in Tesla right now. All right, that's going to do it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed all the action that we did today. Of course, if you missed stock market movers earlier, we had some great guests. Of course, we had LPL financial analyst and a Wedbush analyst join me. So if you didn't catch that, go back to Benzinga TV and check out my interviews to get the edge that you might need in the markets. Hit the thumbs up. I will see you guys tomorrow on pre-market prep.